Hi, wrestling fans, and welcome back to AIWF Ringside Wrestling. I am Mad Matt Carter. Good to have you along for the ride, being joined, as always, by Hall of Famers Brian and Reagan Danzig, Commissioner Rick Diesel, Hall of Famer Stephen Hayes, and just know a fireball is never too far away when Stephen Hayes is around, so watch your behavior. Uh, just want to get a quick reminder out there before we get going. If you like this and like what we're putting out on the AIWF Network and the AIWF Ringside Wrestling channel on YouTube, please do me a huge favor and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and ring that bell to get notifications. It really helps out the channel. I mean, a lot. Like you doing those two little things is like, it's definitely worth a couple of hot dogs at T's Treats. We're not gonna start giving out free hot dogs, but when I tell you
No,
it's a
God
help.
bless. Help us all.
No, but it's definitely a big help. So need you would love to have you do that for us. So thanks again. Again, like, subscribe, and ring that bell, and leave comments if you want. If you're watching us on Facebook Live tonight, if you got any questions or comments, I think Reagan is going to be watching the chat. So put your comments in there, and we will try to address your questions or comments or whatever. Like Randy Savage said, you ask the questions and I'll answer them one by one. Okay. And so anyways, all right. So we got back to action last night in Mount Airy. This past Saturday, depending on when you're watching. Boy, I would call the show a great success. It was I was nervous going in because we've been off for so many months. I mean, we had the anniversary show, but here was the core group, AIWF Mid Atlantic, back in the saddle again. And boy, the people turned up. Great
Yes.
crowd, and there was other wrestling not far down the road, and that always worries me, but it did not affect us, and that just made me feel so good. Like the people want to come see us, they come see us, and so we were glad to have them.
Well,
And
they know when they come and see us, they're gonna have a good time.
oh yeah, and probably and get the best food in wrestling too.
Ha.
I mean, that's like a perk.
Yes.
The admission is very affordable and the concessions are the best in wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Ask my child about the funnel cake. So
I don't know. I don't think that ended well, did it?
no, she kept it in.
Okay. Just had a little too much.
Let's just say a whole funnel cake from T's Treats probably should not be eaten by one 15-year-old.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is.
It's to share, definitely.
But that's a good thing though, because you buying one funnel cake, you can feed at least two people.
Oh, definitely.
Because the portions are so big. And if you get one of those fancy ones with the cheesecake on it or something like that, it's absolutely fantastic. So there's your T's Treats plug for this week. But anyway, I just want to go around the horn. Stephen Hayes, I know you weren't there, but you probably heard some of the rumors and whatnot from what was going on, and get everybody's general opinion, and formally welcome Carson Knightley to the AIWF Mid Atlantic broadcast team. It's their second show with us, and I really like the new setup. Rick Diesel, I'll let you go first. It's just incredible.
Yeah, Carson. Somebody looked at Carson and I last night and said, "You guys just have chemistry right out of the gate." And I said, "Well, that's because she's real good at dragging me along behind her." So, but yeah, it was really good. I'm so glad to have her as part of the team. She was, she has been, or she graduated, from Tennessee University, and she's interned with ESPN, and that really came in. That came into play. It was really helpful. She was knowledgeable. Everybody kind of has to get their legs, when they're first coming in. You think you're not going to be nervous when that camera turns on, but you are.
Yeah,
I was, when it'd been so long since I'd done it. But she done a great job. She kept me on track. I don't know. So somebody told her, somebody must have told her in advance, watch him, he'll go off the rails. So she's done real good reeling me back in when I'd start. So yeah, I think she's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, I do too. Brian, Reagan, what were your thoughts about last night? What was your ultimate takeaways from what we saw?
Well, like you said, the crowd turned out. They were AIW. I mean, that Mount Airy crowd, and it's one of the best crowds. And I'm not just saying that like because I've been to other indie shows and I've been to indie shows that have like thousands of people and they're never as loud as our crowd. Like our crowd is just fantastic. But you know why? It's because we put on a hell of a show. Like
Yes.
that show last night was good from beginning to end. We had some surprises. We had a surprise in return. And we had some things that may have gotten set in motion that didn't end well by the end of the night. I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, because we got like 4 weeks of network stuff in the can, as
yeah, and
Carter likes to say. So
Yeah.
I mean, it was a fantastic beginning of our new season.
yes.
Yeah, it wasn't. I was a little nervous too about doing a new format, because there's always going to be when you're trying something new like that, there's always going to be bugs and glitches, and there were, but we got through them and put on a great show for the fans that night, and I was surprised at how efficient we were. Last night we had 8 matches, but we got started on time, and we were done before 10 o'clock. I mean, we gave them a good show with a good amount of wrestling, but it was just like bam, 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 and it wasn't a there till 11:30, almost midnight kind of thing.
Yeah, everybody knew their role and done it like believe it or not, like the machine, like the well-oiled machine they should be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I even got all the way back here to Concord right after midnight. And I would have got here before midnight had it not been for the debacle that took place at the Circle K up on 89 after the show when I went to get some snacks to come back home. I'm not trying to put the mouth on Circle K, but Circle K, whoever you contracted with to get these automated machines in there that's supposed to ring everything up for you when you put it up under the thing, you need a refund, because those things, I'm gonna just say it, they're a piece of shit, and
I've never had an issue with them.
Oh, it tried to ring. It was ringing me up $15 over the amount of crap I had last night. It wouldn't take my card. It kept saying I was trying to buy a $15 cell phone charger. I think it was mistaking a giant Slim Jim for that. I don't know. I don't know of anything else.
It's a big ass Slim Jim.
Yeah, but I mean, it was so aggravating. I finally just took the stuff in the bag and walked over to the lady, and I was like, I need you to ring us up manually, please.
That's
crazy. I was so mad I was about to just walk out and drive to the one in Pilot.
The one in Pilot is that one. I've never had a problem with the one there, and I've never had a problem with the one here in Clemens. Just doxed myself, but
strange things were afoot at the Circle K.
Circle K.
Hey, man, always
leprechauns.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man, but it was crazy. But yeah, it was. We're not going to keep you out all night, I guess is what we're getting at, folks. And it was everything ran along so smooth, and
I was. But for the amount of matches, I mean, because I felt like we may have been a couple of minutes past 7, but we were on at set like just a little bit past 7, I think. Matt, you probably keep up a time a little bit better than I do, because
we were about 5 after, I think.
Yeah,
that's not bad at all for a wrestling show. When's the last time you went to a wrestling show or a concert, for that matter, and have it start exactly when they said it was going to start?
It's been years on a wrestling show, and I've never been to a concert that started on time.
It's so. Never mind. That's off topic. Never mind.
The concert gets going when it gets going.
Yeah. Even though people are suing Madonna because they said she came on too late and doesn't think about people that have to work. Like, have you never been to a concert?
Couples Axel.
I remember I went to a concert back in the late 90s. It's funny enough, I never thought I'd see Brian Danzig wearing a Def Leppard shirt, but it's happening right now. Mark it down. I went to a Def Leppard concert. Now this was in the 90s, right? So in late 90s. So it was definitely their era was over, right? And you could tell because they were playing the Salem Civic Center on a Tuesday night. And
I was at that show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Then you must remember Joe Elliott at one point during the show. He's like, come on, people, get into it. You're not in fucking church, and some guy, it wasn't packed in the area. It was probably about half full, and everybody's just kind of meandering around wherever they wanted to be. And some guy on the floor, close enough to me that I could hear him, said, "It's late and we have to work tomorrow, asshole." That might have been you, Stephen Hayes.
It's a good possibility. It's reality checks in Salem, Virginia. Who knew?
But everybody started in that whole area just started laughing like hell. But but they put on a good show, and Joan Jett was there. She did good too. So yeah, fun night. But yeah, that's a good concert memory. But all right. So last night we did something that's I don't think we've ever done. Well, we did it once, but we shot it from my phone. It wasn't really produced technically. And I asked the audience, do you remember the last time we shot a match live and put it on Facebook? It was at the all girls show a couple of years ago, and I got a room full of blank stares. So
different crowd, I might say.
Yeah, different crowd. Not your traditional wrestling fan, I guess. So but anyway, but we did it once before with Mickey Fulp and Ty Tyson, but this time it was like had all the bells and whistles on it and everything, and it came out great. I looked at Kevin Phoenix defended the world television title last night. Let's see who was it against. Short term,
Casey Kane.
Casey Kane.
And I apologize. I'm going to just put it out there. I spelled Cason's last name wrong, but in my defense, I'm using my left hand and not my right. So
I was watching her. I was watching her back in the production meeting trying to write down notes, and I felt so sorry for her. Brian would come over every once in a while and help her out a little bit.
Here, write this name down for me.
Yeah. So everybody, if you can't give her slack, if you can't give her a little leeway for that, then just go away somewhere.
Yeah, this is not working at all.
So that means your right brain is in overdrive, right? Because your right brain controls the left side of your body, and
you just it's the weird thing is like you don't think about how hard it is to use the hand that's less dominant. Like it's like being a baby learning how to do everything again. It's weird.
Yeah. That's not something I'd try to do. Like I'm weird. Like I can bat switch hitter like baseball, hit left or right handed. I'm better at left handed. I eat with my left hand when I'm using utensils, which is rare because I'm quite, the vulgar guy, kind of more caveman than human. But I have to write with my right hand. If I put a pen or a pencil in my left hand, it's not going to work. Just doesn't.
I like how fast he clarified that switch hitter in baseball.
Yeah.
We don't shame. We don't.
No.
I'm just nice thing. I know. I'm just playing. But
just an observation. Just an observation.
Well, in my wilder days. Anyway,
that's the Martinsville coming out in you.
Oh no, I don't want to go down this path because this show's going to never be cleared by YouTube if we keep going this way.
No, back to wrestling.
Everybody, every match on the card last night I thought was fantastic. And one guy that I had been worried about personally, because he is such a nice guy, was no comparison. Joe Harrison. He had suffered a couple of tough losses to Mickey Fulp. A lot of people said what happened to Deal with the Steel was bullshit, but it was the referee's call. Then but he had those couple of losses. I was kind of worried about it hurting his pride, his ego, or his competitive fire. And we got our answer right out of the box last night. I don't know about you, Brian, but he was bouncing Pretty Boy Lane all over the ring last night. Like really had a fire to him. Like, he's on the comeback trail.
I was talking about at the anniversary show, I was talking about how David Parrish looks like he's packed on a little bit of muscle on him since since we had taken the break. Joe Harrison is another one.
Yeah,
that he looks. I mean, he had always been in good shape, but I mean, you can really see the definition starting to show on him now.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was really fired up, and he wants his revenge against Seth Clayton Burns and Pretty Boy Lane and Casey Kane, and he got a measure of that revenge last night.
Yep. And I mean, he's one of the Myrtle Beach boys, and they all salty dogs down there. They'll be the best friends you ever had, but God, man, if
Don't cross them.
you piss somebody off from Horry County, you're gonna pay for it. And I know that's probably not the exact correct pronunciation, guys. Just
closer than most. Closer than most.
Well, the way I've heard it said by locals is Ori, but that sounds a little much.
What?
As long as you don't pronounce the H, you're okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I missed it because I was reading the board.
It's the county that Myrtle Beach is in, how to correctly pronounce it. The H is
Isn't it
silent.
Horry? That was Horry?
Oh, that's a foreigner alert.
Only from March to September.
I was reading the thing. Y'all put me in charge of reading the thing. You're gonna have to expect I'm gonna miss some things.
They changed the pronunciation only from March to September.
Yeah, but those are out of town people. That's got nothing to do with the locals. But yeah, so the H is silent. And I know that moving forward, folks. That's just like if somebody says the word Appalachian Mountains to me, I'm like, oh, you're not from around here,
Yeah.
because it's like only known how to correctly pronounce it. And I had a lady that grew up in South Carolina argue with me one time at work for 3 days over that. And I was just like, okay, well, if I can't convince you, you pronounce it however you want. But
it's like Salisbury. Like,
yeah.
Everybody says Salisbury if they're not, no. There's another place.
Oh, I like the ones that calls it Salisbury.
And then
you're not eating it.
Yeah.
I do come with gravy.
When we first started coming down here looking for jobs, I was telling Trevor's fiance at the time that this is where the Salisbury steak was invented, and she bought it hook, line, and sinker. And then when I smartened her up to that, then she didn't believe me when I said Food Line was invented there, and that was actually true.
That is actually true. We also kind of getting it back. God Almighty, it went. Don't get hit in that chair anymore with a chair, wrestlers. Doesn't do you well when you're almost 50. It messes your mind.
Does.
Corey Etzel is angry with all of us. Well, I don't want to say angry. Let's say mildly perturbed, because if he was angry, I would probably be in the hospital. And we'll try not to piss Corey off. He does have the link to this program, but he was upset that we weren't announcing him as AIWF Mid Atlantic Heavyweight Champion, even though he's in possession of the belt, and so or the championship title.
Right.
And I lightly explained to him how you win a title.
Yeah. And so we got some exciting news coming up. I don't know. Should we break that news now?
You can.
No.
Go ahead.
So,
I mean, that's one of those things you kind of got to put out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
early, anyhow.
So it's Spring Jam on April 20th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Reagan made a great decision about what kind of match they're going to have to settle this dispute over the title. So Reagan, I will let you explain it to the people what they're going to have.
Okay, so like as Matt was saying, Corey was very unhappy that when we brought him out, we did not introduce him as the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion, and we did not put on the screen that he was the AIWF Mid-Atlantic Champion. So he went on this rant, and I decided to come out and explain to Corey the way most people win a title is to pin somebody in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3. And he's never done that to Justin Flash. So I set up for Spring Jam a match that Justin Flash pretty good at, a ladder match. So they will be wrestling for the title, which will be hung over the middle of the ring. And I said a lot of other things too, but that's the Cliff Notes version.
Yeah, give them the Cliff Notes. They can watch the episode to get the full report.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to that match. And Corey Etzel did give us a demonstration last night that he does have, in fact, the ability to climb a ladder. He was mad at first, saying that he'd never climbed a ladder in his life. And I don't blame him. Ladders are scary, and so, especially the older you get, because, like when you're 20, you fall off a ladder, you bounce a couple of times, you're good. When you're 50, if you fall off a ladder, probably gonna have to take a trip to the ER and get some new meds for the doctor at the bare minimum. So, and not to say that Corey's 50, I don't even know how old he is. A lot younger than me. But yeah, that's going to be great. A ladder match. And Justin Flash has got a pretty good record in ladder matches. I mean, over the years, he's won that money in the piggy bank more times than anybody, I believe. So, yeah, very interesting. Buddy Flowers had me introduce him returning from an agricultural retreat in Amsterdam last night. So we know where he's been. And there's another guy, man, our cruiserweight champion, who just I don't know if he's bulked up during the off season, but he certainly has not lost a step and maybe even picked up a step or two or a step and a half in the speed department. I thought, Brian, I don't know what your eyes told you, but that's what I saw.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he had a match with Corey Etzel, a huge weight difference in that matchup, but he went toe to toe with Corey. He was doing the exact thing that a smaller guy needs to do against a bigger guy. Use your quickness and your agility, strike and move, hit them, they get away. And that's exactly what he was doing. And so he gave Corey a run for his money. And again, don't want to give too much what happened at the end, but as far as Corey claiming to be the champion, Corey knows he's not the champion.
Yes.
I mean, he is playing mind games with Justin Flash, and they're working. I mean, Justin Flash was, I mean, you could tell last night. I mean, from the time he walked out from the entrance, that, I mean, just the look on his face. I mean, it's just not the same Justin Flash, which may end up backfiring on Corey.
Mm-hmm.
He's gotten in his head, but he may have lit a fire under him that is going to actually help him in their matchup at Spring Jam.
The only thing about this is the repercussions that Justin Flash is going to feel from this may ripple not just through with Corey and his people, but other people in the locker room. I mean, and like I said, you need to watch the show to find out what that means and where those and what's actually going to happen to Justin Flash in that locker room now. So
it's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Justin Flash reminds me of a mid 90s before the Crow Sting a lot in his manner and personality. It's like you can push him so far and you can beat him every now and then, but once you drive him to that point that he snaps, then you can't stop him. He's like a freight train.
Right.
I mean, there's no stopping him. He's just going to run through everybody. So we'll see. I think Justin's kind of getting to that point. He's more than a little aggravated with Corey if you talk to him. So Rick, these are your thoughts.
Well, I think Justin, again, Justin Flash and Corey Etzel has had years of feud with each other. I mean, it's just something that's went on for a long time. They're way too compatible in that ring not to clash.
Mm-hmm.
And Justin, well, he's got a month now to prepare for this. Because it's the 20th, so basically just a tad over a month to prepare for this. But I don't know how Corey Etzel going. Like you said last night, Corey Etzel did show that he could climb a ladder, but climbing a ladder out on a floor or climbing a ladder in a wrestling ring is a big difference. So that ring bouncing around,
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And Corey, I don't know. Justin have an advantage, but you also got to think about Mecha Mercenary.
Yeah, that guy's. I've never seen.
I
This
mean,
first time I've seen him in person. He's like a walking fucking tree. He's
Yeah.
massive.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's Corey's protege. That's, he trained him. So not only is he big, but he has the the wrestling knowledge of Corey Edsel too.
Yeah.
Teaching a big man how to fight like a big man. I mean, then that's the guy to do it.
And oh, if he's outside the ring and Corey can get Flash outside the ring, keep the referee distracted, there's so much damage that Mecha could do to Justin and not you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
In just a split second.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. First match of Spring Jam that has been announced. Ladder
Yep.
match.
I'm excited, man. Looking forward to April. Another guy that I got my first look at in person last night and was very happy to see was on the card and got to meet the guy is a guy who simply destroyed Kevin Phoenix back at Fright Night, Savage Kincaid. This dude is an out and out monster. I didn't ask him to his face because it was the first time I met him. You don't want to ask a guy personal questions right away. And he's kind of wild, right? So
yeah, he might eat you.
He might. And that's what made me think that he was kin or the son of Ooga Booga. But I was told last night that is not the case. But he reminded me a lot of Ooga Booga. You remember? And that guy would chew your freaking fingers off. And
remember the Nigerian Nightmares.
Oh,
I
no,
keep
I don't
trying
remember.
to forget. I keep trying to forget.
I don't remember the Nigerian Nightmares. Maybe it's like a mental block. Why were they bad?
No, they were. Oh Lord, they were what? Steve,
huge.
354 a piece in weight.
The small one was 4.
Yeah,
the big one I would say like 550, 560, and could move.
Were they those guys that were in all those videotapes from Japan where they looked like they were twins that would do all that hardcore shit back in the 90s?
You're thinking of the Headhunters.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But yeah,
these are the guys.
Same concept.
Yeah, they was on a show in Elkin one time and almost killed a dude in the ring and
Wow.
They almost killed me and Big Daddy Edwards, and then they tried to kill Michael.
Yes.
Wow. Big Daddy Edwards was I mean
That's somebody
it's in
I
his
have.
name. He was big. He was a big boy. So if you almost kill him, you've done something. And Stephen Hayes, you're no small man either. Michael,
Yeah.
them boys made me look like Brian. Okay, let's put it that way.
Wow. But Savage Kincaid went in the ring last night, and you're going to see this on an upcoming episode of Mid Atlantic in a handicap match. He wrestled 2 men, Tyler Osborne and a guy named OK. Now, I first laid eyes on these gentlemen at the skating rink up in Bluefield for Premier Wrestling League. And they are very popular up there, especially OK.
Mm-hmm.
OK gets pops like Sam Houston did in '85, and that's who he reminds me of because he can take a beating. I mean, this kid, every time I see him, he gets bounced around the ring like a rubber ball and keeps getting up. But last night, Savage Kincaid I don't know about you, Brian, but I don't want to say he made it look easy, but he made short work of him. I mean,
he did. I was actually surprised at how much of a fight those 2 kids put up. I mean, they got a few shots in on him, and I was impressed by that. But it was a handicap match in that they were the ones handicapped.
And I'm going to say both of them. I would say those two guys together probably weighed a fourth of what Savage Kincaid weighs. So
that's why I think the Sam Houston thing is important. If you hadn't seen these guys, they are skinny. So that's
I mean, they're lightweight guys. They're used to competing against smaller guys like themselves. And again, like I said, they did the strike and move thing, got a couple of good shots in, but in the end, it was just, he was just too big and too strong for the both of them.
Rick Diesel, you had the monitor in the back. Did you get to see any of that?
I did watch some of it. Yeah, like I said, we was doing the whole new control center thing back in the back, and everybody can see the new format when the episode comes out, hopefully soon. Post editing and everything. But I did get to watch some. Matter of fact, it was actually over before I got to see much of it at all. But
yeah, it didn't last long.
Yeah, it was like I said, Savage Kincaid he's one of these anomalies that comes through every once in a while. You've had your Abdullah the Butcher, your Kamalas, your Ooga Boogas, your Nigerian Nightmares, you know what I'm saying? Tijo Khan, guys like that just that he falls into that category. And I didn't know if when he first came back before the end of season 31, I didn't know if he'd be back, but he was here, and so he may be here to stay, and which means he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. But I've done some research on him, and there's one thing different about the Mid Atlantic that I see in other organizations that he wrestles in. This is one of the few organizations that he don't have anybody that we know of at ringside controlling him.
Oh, wow.
Because he has handlers in other organizations. Why he don't have one here, I don't know. But
that's just how crazy the AIWF.
It could be. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
We let them go as hard and violent as they can.
So I don't know. He may be a little different here than he is in other places because there's nobody here holding him back that I know of. It could be somebody back controlling him. You know what I'm saying? Backstage, right? In the background that we don't know. It's happened before.
Yeah, it could be, but he seems to be thriving like this. So why mess up a good thing? He's been here twice and won both his matches. So,
from what I seen last night, if you want to get him out of the ring after his match, all you got to do is just let him chase a referee.
No, it seems to like that.
Was it referee Hunter?
Yeah, he chased him.
I can see why.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Hunter move that fast before.
Maybe he had a pork chop in his pocket or something. But one thing I want to say this about the OK guy, and I don't want to blow his head up, but it's funny, like, no matter how bad he's hurt, every time I've seen him wrestle, he goes back to the stage, he turns around and looks at the crowd and he goes, "I'm okay." Like, it is so that bit never gets old.
That is,
he didn't look okay.
No, he
did not.
Matt, there was something you said, and to me, it's the greatest thing in the world. Is you look? This is the only profession in the world where he can take a beating. Is the most admirable trait you can have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you get
that guy could take a beating?
Yeah.
It's like that scene in Superbad. He's like, does this make me a badass? Are girls gonna like me for this? And the cop looks at him and goes, "No, it just means you can take a hell of a punch."
Well, then, if that's true, then God bless Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen. I'd like to say I'm sorry for selling him out to that, but I'm not.
I think AC said that he sold him out too. So, but no, like, we're seeing the other thing that's great about the AIWF is with this new season is we're seeing a lot of new faces. One of the ones that I was really impressed with and was excited to see was the Zion Val.
I got you, Reagan. The prophet Zion Volante. This is why I got up and went my notes before we started.
Yeah, thank you. I was really impressed with him. I was really impressed with his ability. I was impressed with his look. I mean, he was, I was really impressed with him, and I've never seen him before. So, it's great. There were, the AIWF, everybody knows this is the place to be. So they're flocking to us now.
Yeah, I'm going to have to find out what the land of the hidden Awen is. That's where he's from. He goes through some kind of weird ceremonial ritual, It's like he's like straight out of a game of D&D. Best I can tell. I've never played that shit because I'm not that much of a dork. But
Hey now, hey now.
I
Did you
just
say
need
hidden island?
I
I
need
will
a,
come through this screen on you so fast,
Me
Matt Carter.
too.
You're outnumbered, Matt.
Well, I'm a proud dork, so I don't care. You can call me a dork
Yeah,
all you want.
I had to
Exactly.
I wanted to do that for comic value. Don't take it personal, D&D people. I did read a couple of the books. I've just never taken the time to sit down and play. So
Oh, it is. Okay. I'll tell you what it is off camera, or I don't.
oh
I
yeah,
forget
text
what
it
it
to
is.
me. Yeah, my phone's here. Yeah, text it to me. Man, that's pretty bad if we can't say it on this show.
No, I just don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
I think that he has a chance of being real popular once the fans get familiar with him. He definitely
Yeah.
got the ability in the ring. And as soon as we're able to educate people what okay. So it is okay, but it's like, but it's not D&D. It's a different that's called the Land of the Hidden Island.
Yeah, or the hidden aisle. So I figure it's from that.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Well, maybe we can find out if when he comes back.
Well, I'll just ask him. I bumped into him at the Circle K after the show and told him don't use that automated thing. Make her ring it up.
Maybe he cast a spell on it or something, make it work.
Yeah, maybe. It'd be good to have a wizard around when that type of shit happens.
Yes.
I repeat, strange things afoot.
Yeah, but hey, in The Hobbit, remember Gandalf couldn't turn off the rain, and Bilbo thought he was useless when they started.
Well, we're also you're talking about D&D and you're remembering something so small and specific about Lord of the Rings that you could do that. So
it's not Lord of the Rings, it's a Hobbit. It's different.
Hobbit, sorry. See, that's even worse.
I know.
Matt, that's even worse.
I know.
You're being specific now. Welcome to Dorkhood.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Well, actually,
I never said I wasn't a dork.
Push your glasses up, Matt. Like, actually.
Sheldon Cooper is my hero. Let's see. What else did we have going that night?
We saw the return.
Jackson Sane came
That's
back.
what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah, with Jezebeth, and she had a white rat with her at ringside last night. I got a shot of it on the fan cam, and it's not a very clear shot because I had to zoom in because I wasn't going over there near it to get a close up. So, that I hear rats are nice pets. Jim Cornette had a pet rat. That when Mankind, as I further expound on my wrestling dorkness, premiered in WWF. The promo he did where he was in the sewer petting the rat, that was Jim Cornette's pet rat. So Cornette always spoke highly of the rat and what a good pet it was.
No,
that was Sin's rat.
We oh God, I don't know if that's which one that is. But we had a roommate that had a rat, and it was in a cage, and it was too close to the wall, and it ate a hole in the wall.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's not the rat's fault. You got to keep the cage part.
That's just rat being a rat.
Yeah,
she was fucking stupid. So
hey, rats have their place in wrestling.
Yes, that is true.
Yes,
and it's not the rat's fault.
Let's see.
We don't.
Just rats being rats.
Yeah.
Somebody take the wheel. We're making a left turn. Somebody grab the wheel.
You started it, Stephen Hayes. You're the one that tried to do the double entendre. So don't come.
What do you mean tried? What do you mean tried?
It was good to see Jackson Sane back. That guy, I love his look. He's very skilled in the ring, and he and Justin Flash had a hell of a match until it was interrupted.
Well, and the thing about him that's so disconcerting is his screams in the middle of the match. Like, he'll just start screaming, and it's very unsettling.
Well, he looks like he's like half a zombie anyway. So, I mean, I don't think he's got full control of all his motor skills enough that, he's a successful wrestler, but, it might be one of those ticks, and just every now and then, like
I like him already.
Oh yeah. You got to see this dude, man.
He's something else.
We've got some of the match. It's one of his matches, I believe, already up on the Ringside YouTube channel.
Should have, yeah.
If you look at, if you go into the playlist, just scroll down and look for Jackson Sane, and it'll take you to the videos. That goes for all of you out there. And TV land, internet land, as it were. But yeah, I think overall, you guys that weren't able to join us at the show have got 4 weeks of great Mid Atlantic TV coming up, and you're going to really enjoy it. But the next time we film TV is going to be on WrestleMania weekend, and it's going to be on a Friday night this time.
Adjustments have been made.
Yes, and so
Have we decided the bell time for Friday?
7.
7. Okay.
It's a regular bell.
yeah, I'm going to try to make that one. I'm going to try to burn out of work and fly. I might get there at the last minute, but I'm going to try to get there.
I'm off for the Lord's week, so.
Huh?
I'm off for the Lord's week.
The Lord's week. Oh,
because Easter's the one before, and
you get the whole week off.
yeah.
Easter, falls in March this year, so I don't understand how that works. It changes from March to April. It has to do something with the sun, I think.
That's not pagan at all, is it?
Well, yeah.
Well, all of our holidays have pagan roots. I mean, it's just
of course. Ask any preacher. Easter's all about the sun.
Mm-hmm. What he said.
Yep. That's not. We probably shouldn't go there.
SON.
The opinions voiced are not the opinions of the organization of the AIWF.
No, my opinions are always my own. You won't
Yeah,
you don't like my opinions, just come after me. I'm used to
Yeah,
it.
please, me too.
Reverend.
Me 3. I say I'm a Christian. I just ain't worth the shit for a good example.
Which makes you one of the better ones.
Well,
Yeah,
Stop it. Stop.
I
At least
agree.
top
I agree.
10.
I'm more of a Johnny Cash Bono type of guy than the Bible thumping type. But
I always thought church girls were easy.
Oh my God!
I just had
Yet
to make
again, the opinions panel are not endorsed by the AIWF.
Oh, that was a movie. Earth Girls Are
Girls Are
Easy. I'm
Easy.
sorry.
Earth Girls
Earth
are
Girls.
I got that mixed up.
That
was
movie has Jeff Goldblum, Jim Carrey, and it's not Jamie Foxx, but it's somebody else from that show, right? I don't remember, but anyway, off the topic.
that was one of those direct to video things in the 80s, right? Like Puppet Master that was just made and created for video cassette release.
I
No,
love
I think
Puppet
it
Master
was
movies.
it was released in theaters.
Now I got to find out who the other person. Y'all talk about.
Is anything going on in the comments section that we need to address?
Let's
before-
see. We
before I
did
read
have
me and AC.
somebody.
Oh, just
Somebody,
you and
AC's
AC.
in
What's
it,
up,
but we
AC?
also had somebody. Vicky Richmond was in there,
Oh, okay. Hey,
Um,
Vicky.
and then somebody
Was it her that was talking about earlier?
Yes,
Okay.
I told her that. Yeah.
Okay.
So get well soon because she's going to miss several shows. But there was a guy in there talking about bringing plates of glass and light bulbs, and I was just saying that has to be planned really well. And in our facility, which is so small, it would be a nightmare. And I was like, it was even a nightmare for AEW.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We don't want to hurt and injure our fans. We need repeat business.
Mhm.
So
Right.
Well, then
Right.
again,
we don't have $1 billion trust fund.
And again, my whole thing with the light tubes, it's not the glass, it's the
Yeah.
poisonous,
Yes.
toxic materials that are inside of it.
Yeah.
That's my issue with those. That's why
Yep.
I will not work with those, because it's not I'll take a regular light bulb or some glass all day, but yeah, when there's toxic powder inside of it, mercury
Yeah.
that can get into my bloodstream. No, thank you.
And it's got gas in it too, right? It's got
Mhm.
invisible
Yeah.
gas that floats.
Yeah, like
Oh.
the halogen, yeah, it's not, no.
I've hated light bulbs ever since the Drive Brothers or that show in Wentworth. that we
Oh my
did.
God,
Mhm.
that was one of the worst things. And yeah, that was they were dangerous, and they were dangerous in not a kayfabe way. And I'm just gonna put that out there right now. They were honest to God too dangerous, and stupid with the hardcore like that. They were the way hardcore should not be done.
Yeah, and we were sitting, had the table back. They'll set up at ringside in Wentworth, probably 5-10 feet from the ring, and they swung that tape. They had about 15 of those long fluorescent industrial light tubes taped up together, and one smashed the one over the other one's back. And I remember seeing the explosion of all that stuff that Brian was talking coming out of those things, and I turned around, covered my eyes, put my back to it, and ducked, and I could feel the debris hitting my
AC
shirt and my skin.
AC said he was bleeding from that. So I mean, it's just, and I've seen guys get it. I don't know where it was, but people have gotten there. Hey, it was David Arquette.
Yeah.
David Arquette almost had his neck severed from one.
Yeah, but you can't kill David Arquette.
No, you can't. But in general,
say it's a
I don't want to
movie.
do. I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
but they found that out later. They didn't know it at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Once they tried to chop his head off and they couldn't, then oh, you can't kill David Arquette. But before that, they didn't know. You might not be able to kill me. Let's not try.
Yeah, let's not find out.
There can be only one, and it is Arquette.
Let me pause it right here and do a couple of ad reads real quick. All right. Just so we don't forget. Let's see here. You should be able to see the slideshow. Can you?
Yes. Yes.
Come on, from current slide. See if it'll work. Yep, there it is. Premier Auto Detailing. They are a great sponsor of ours. We can say hands down the best car cleaning service in town. Call them 336-883-5722 for more information. If you've just got a car that's really nasty and filthy that haven't been cleaned in a while that you need cleaned up, or if you're in a commercial business where you have like a fleet of vehicles and need help keeping those cleaned up, it'll probably be cheaper than hiring somebody to do, an employee yourself, adding to your payroll expense. Probably cheaper to call Premier Auto Detailing. If you got a used car lot, we're talking to you. And they can come and help you keep your fleet of vehicles clean. They'll be glad to give you an estimate. If you got an old jalopy, you're just getting it up running, you want to take it to town now, you want to get it clean first, impress the ladies, call up Premier Auto Detailing, 336-883-5722. That's 336-883-5722. And be sure to tell them AIWF Ringside Wrestling sent you. Tees Creations Custom Apparel. Man, these people are all over the internet. They have got custom-made t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies. They do just about anything that you could slap a design on, quite frankly. And they are all over the place. teescreations22.com. Tees Creations by Allied Apparel on Facebook. They've got a TikTok. It's probably one of the loudest TikToks I've ever seen, but very effective. And they're also on Shopify. So if you need something for family reunion, church picnic, little league baseball team, a grown adult softball team, any type of that kind of stuff, or you just want to go look at their website and see some of their standard images, you can check them out at teescreations22.com. And also they usually bring some stuff to the Mid Atlantic shows, so you can check them out there too. That's teescreations22.com. Tees Creations by Allied Apparels on Facebook. You can find them on TikTok as well and on Shopify. So very much thank them for their sponsorship. If you'd like to get your side hustle on here or your full-time hustle on here, it's real cheap. 4 reads, just like what you just heard, for only $10 a month. And if we take a week off, that don't affect you none. You're going to get 4 reads for $10, just like you heard here. If you want something a little longer, we'll work that out. If you want to write me up some copy, AC, and send it on, we can definitely get you on here. It's $10 a month, so you can't beat it. I challenge anybody to advertise with any other wrestling show, and I'm not talking about the national promotions. I'm talking about even indies. You can't get any advertising any cheaper than you can with AIWF Mid Atlantic. We are helping you stretch that advertising dollar, because we know how hard you work for them. So, we talked a little bit last week about all the goings on in AEW regarding Sting's last match and the danger that it presented to the crowd in Greensboro.
Well,
a lot of other podcasts talked about that sign that they put up warning the ringside fans. And everybody generally laughed about how, like, oh yeah, good luck in court showing that to the judge, so, but Sasha Banks debuted there. I watched it Wednesday night. They sent her out first. I mean, anybody that, watches wrestling kind of figure out the clues. In Boston, big business with the letters boss spelled out. They're calling it a CEO now. She had a brand new wig that was very multicolored and interesting. She came out, made a speech, left. Samoa Joe came out, had his match, and that was all I wanted to see. And so I started watching basketball.
So that means you missed the big injury. Have you heard about? I don't know if it was that night or Friday night.
What happened?
So Darby Allin was supposed to take time off to go climb Mount Everest for real,
Here
not
it is.
fake, for real.
Yeah.
And he
Broken
went
foot.
and tried to do some kind of crazy off the top rope move and broke his foot. So now he can't wrestle or climb Mount Everest.
Broken
He's
foot
probably
may
working
have
on
saved
climbing
his
Everest.
life.
Exactly.
right,
That's-
yeah.
Yeah, he's suicidal. That's what I wanted to ask you guys. I think the motherfucker's suicidal. I mean, just the reckless things he does in wrestling.
I won't say that. I will say it comes from the right place of doing whatever he thinks he needs to entertain the crowd that's there and give them the most value for their money for the ticket. I do also agree with Al Snow that he is going to die in the ring.
Well, I think piggybacking off what Steve says, he's so little. He's skinny, he's little, and it's probably one of those things where he's like, I have to do all this stuff to be a contender. I have to do all this stuff because I'm a little guy in a big man's world, and I got to do all this crazy stuff. And you know what? I really like his jump where he goes backwards and crosses his arms and lands on people.
Coffin drop. That's called.
Yeah, I
Coffin.
like that. I think it's good. I think it's scary looking, but I don't know. I just
I will go ahead, Brian.
Well, he's a skater too, so
That's where I was going.
Those guys are crazy. I mean, they do. I mean, Tony Hawk has broken his legs, probably more times than he can remember. I mean, it's just they're just a different breed.
Yeah.
They just have that adrenaline rush from doing crazy things.
Because his best friend is Bam Margera. And
yeah, that tells you
that
anything
tells you anything,
about how
yeah.
crazy he is.
Oh Jesus!
It's not a Gen X, Gen Z. It's a Generation X games. Is what he is.
But Darby's too young for that, though. I mean, because he's only like in his 20s, right? So to be
Yeah, but he probably grew up watching that stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the internet's a lovely thing. Yeah.
I'm
just surprised Bam Margera's still alive at this
I
point.
am too. I keep watching his he's barely he's struggling.
Well, that's putting it nicely.
Yeah. Yeah. Every day I'm like, is this the day I'm gonna see that he's dead? Because like we discussed before, before Jackass, I was a huge CKY fan, and that's the stuff he did with his guys in Westchester, and that's Can't Kill Yourself. So that's what they called their stuff, and then they got up together with the Jackass crew, and then that's when they made the big, huge show and stuff. And if you've ever watched any of that CKY stuff, I mean, you think Jackass is crazy, the CKY stuff is
they toned it down for Jackass.
Yeah, and that that's something that Jeff Tremaine said. He was like, we wanted to use some of that footage for CKY for the first season of Jackass, but there was so much that we couldn't use. He was like, it was just too much. And he said, we used everything we could, but it wasn't much.
Yeah.
And I did not know what CKY stood for until today. So
Can't kill yourself.
Well, Darby, there you go.
There you go. I guess that's his motto. I mean, because but you have those people that are just like daredevils. Like the whole thing they want to do is that high, and I'm not talking about like drug high, but it's the same type of, your brain responds very similarly to those type of things as it does with some drugs.
Yeah, it's the adrenaline high.
And
endorphins and dopamine are wonderful things.
But I agree with Al Snow. I mean, and Al Snow is an ECW for God's sakes, and
but
he didn't do any
crazy stuff.
No, he did not.
No, but he did it. But he was in the. But no, I know he did it. But he was in the organization that was.
Okay, he was in Smoky Mountain too. Al was around New Jack long enough.
Yeah,
he knows.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's saying this guy's going to kill himself, I mean, he's coming from knowledge of those types of things. He's not some just old Codge complaining about the young guys. I mean, like I said, he may not have done it, but he lived through the organizations that had the people who did it. And you know, yeah. So, but I don't know.
Rick Diesel, your thoughts on young Darby Allen? And
I agree with everything everybody said. I think that it's just a combination of he's young, he's reckless, and he gets off on it. And he also can legitimately say, this is how I win matches, by doing crazy stuff that, you know, a smaller guy has to do to get a pin on a bigger guy.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, that was the first thing that went through my mind was, you know, he's so small that he has to do the high flying, the high risk maneuvers to help him get an advantage. You know what I'm saying? That would be how he would portray his character. But some of the stuff he does is unnecessarily reckless.
It's backyard reckless. I'll say it's backyard reckless.
So that's why I lean more toward the skater thing, I guess, that Brian was saying, because it's he's probably done it in front of his friends so many times before wrestling, and they all thought it was so cool. He's like, well, everybody would just love to see me do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy it.
He's making a good living at it right now. I mean, I just
hope he's saving it for the medical bills.
I want to know his history and with mountain climbing, and I don't have enough screens here to look, but I'm sure like he's not, Mount Everest is not his first mountain he's attempting to climb. I mean, that's like going for the biggest.
Where's he originally from?
Seattle.
Yeah, that's gonna be my
Seattle?
question. Anybody,
Okay.
what did he do before AEW?
I don't know. I want to
guess
see
he
if
was
kid.
I mean, he was probably a skater.
I want to see if he climbed Mount Rainier, because
that I would put, if he was from Seattle, I'll put money that he's at least attempted to climb Rainier.
Yeah, because Mount Rainier is a little more dangerous than your average bear. It's because it's so big. It's got a bunch of different climates like they all do. But Mount Rainier is a volcano. And
they all are out there.
Yeah, but you know, they have signs. If you look on the website for the park, you know, the state or federal park, whatever it is, like they have signs.
I have zero mountain experience, like zero. I don't even know what I'm doing, Alan laughed. I just signed up and I've got 6 months to train to climb Mount Everest. The trainers Alan hired to complete his ascent from an adventure company based in New Zealand called Venture Consultants told Alan that training for such a short span to climb Mount Everest is unheard of, with most who climb Everest training for years or even dedicating their lives to it.
Yeah.
And I'm quoting that from Forbes magazine.
That is fucking insane.
Yeah, two things, Matt. I used to live at the base of Mount Rainier.
Oh,
so I know what you're talking, dude. It's unreal. And something AC had pointed out in chat. I'm going to twist it a little bit from the kind of quote he was taking, but Mount Everest is littered with the corpses of highly motivated people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, motivation's not enough, desire's not enough. I don't think dude knows enough or can train long enough at this point to do it safely.
Well,
I don't care who you're with.
Yeah, it even sounds like the people he's hired to help him are saying, yeah,
you're gonna die.
Right.
You're gonna die. So maybe breaking a foot did save his life.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So if he gets up there and he's freezing to death, think they could construct a wrestling ring around him real quick so he could. So Al Snow could say, "Yep, he died in the ring."
Yep.
I mean,
who knows?
He'll jump off the side.
Oh boy, yeah, but he should try Mount Rainier first, because that one kills about 4 every year, and you've got all kinds of fun surprises at Mount Rainier, because those cute little streams coming out of the mountain by one rumble of the volcano can turn into raging rivers in a matter of a few seconds. So that has built-in obstacles to get you ready for Everest, you know.
Mount Rainier, Mount Hood, any of them out there.
Yeah.
I'm going over to Clawville and climb Squirrel Spur. Rattlesnake will bite him. Matt knows.
That's a deep cut right there.
Tell him to come down our way and just climb Mount Pilot. I mean, come on.
There you go.
Yeah,
It kills one every once in a while.
yeah, because people try to get up on the knob, right?
Right. It killed one last year, I think.
Yeah.
So it says that he was supposed to go to France to prepare himself. I'm not good enough for geography. Is there a huge mountain in France?
Yeah,
It's like the
French
Alps.
Alps.
The Alps,
The
yeah.
Alps.
Yeah, they're in the south part of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good practice. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was gonna go do
you
that.
go down there, you got to eat people to survive. That's what, did they do it in the movie?
No, that was the
Honor Party
Andes-
of 10.
No, that was the Andes Mountains in South America
okay.
you're thinking about.
They all look alike to me. The
Sa-
European mountains.
I worked with a lady that grew up and spent part of her adult life in France, and she was telling me that France is weird because the climate in most countries, the further you go north, it gets colder. But France, because the Alps are in the southern part of the country, if you actually want colder weather, you drive south in France because it's very temperate and humid, like up around Paris and stuff. So if you want to drive to get cold weather, you actually have to drive south. It's just a little fun fact about France. I know it's not a place I'm ever planning to visit.
No.
I just don't want to.
Spiky and full of French people.
Yeah, and they eat weird mini pancakes and shit.
I like mini pancakes.
It creates just
Crib.
Sacha Baron Cohen's portrayal of Jean Girard and
Yeah.
Talladega Nights is all I know about.
That
France.
is-
Just say you like little pancakes. Yeah, I could take that.
I love that movie. That is the best comedy movie of all time.
But you know, it's weird about Will Ferrell, man. People either love him or hate him. You
They
know?
do, and I
Yeah.
love him.
I do too.
That's a sign of somebody good, though.
Mhm.
There's somebody polarizing like that.
Yeah.
That's a good sign that they're doing something right.
But some talk went about Twitter this week. People have started calling AEW all empty wrestling, which I found hilarious.
Oh,
And then Corey Etzel made a joke about it last
he
night.
did. He did. Which I kind of led him to it though, but yeah.
Yeah.
But it is. It's
No.
well, it's like I texted, y'all. It's like I was watching, that fall brawl that we had talked about that y'all went to, and I had watched that terrible uncensored with the cages.
Oh yes. That card was good except for that.
Yes,
I thought that
yes,
card was-
Yeah.
it was, and that was terrible. And I was like, I had texted John. I said they need to look into buildings that are that size. I mean, WCW did that. They went into those places and they worked there, and then they just slowly started filling those places up, and they'd sell out. And they're like, okay, we're selling out the whatever the place in Asheville is called.
Asheville Civic Center.
We're selling that out. Let's go somewhere else. We're selling out this place. Let's start getting bigger. And that's what they did. And, eventually they blew out, but yeah, just, it's not shameful to go to a smaller place. I mean,
I think at this point for them it is.
Yeah, well, why though? It doesn't make
Yeah,
business.
why?
Because they have come on the scene screaming, "We are the equal to WWE." That was from day one. We're going to be the people that rival WWE.
But-
and it's like their ego won't let them take a step back now because
I
it'd be
guess
devastating for them.
I guess they think they're the new WCW. But
Why
but
is kinda hard.
I would not say that.
but what I was going
No.
to say, historically, you need to watch the evolution of NWA to WCW to the WCW that was beaten Raw to the WCW that destroyed itself. You've got to look at their whole picture to see what they did right and to see what they did wrong. And in the beginning, what they did right was they stayed in arenas that fit their number of viewers.
That's in the WCW timeline, though.
That-
Yeah,
That
I-
makes sense. So
I have a
in
hard
reality,
cutoff.
that makes perfect sense. But WCW didn't start saying we're WWE's equals until they were beating them in the ratings.
yeah.
Right.
They,
All right.
they had it to back up. AEW come right out of the damn gate saying we're gonna kick their ass, and now
Yeah.
they can't. So once they go back from 10,000 seat arenas to 3,000 seat arenas. That just, I feel like that they think it'll just make them a joke.
They
Bigger,
are.
I
a
mean, a
joke
legitimate
now.
joke. You know,
Yeah,
what I'm
but-
Matt Carter may agree with me on this, but Tony Khan is the new Jim Hurd.
Oh,
I mean, really, truly.
Yeah, but
I-
he's just,
if
I don't think he's that much of an asshole. I think he just,
no,
he
he just
doesn't know
don't
wrestling.
know.
Yeah.
He-
And I want to make a distinction here because now I am going to show you wrestling nerddom. There's a cutoff point between you when Jim Crockett Promotions went out of business and became WCW. That's two separate timelines because one of the things that drove Jim Crockett out of business was trying to chase the WWF and buying up all those extra territories, buying 2 fucking airplanes, you know, and then they started in 88. If you watch like the World Championship Wrestling in 88, they started doing television tapings in their big house show arenas, like Greensboro and Charlotte and stuff like that. And they only did that every now and then in the years leading up to that. And I know it was a combination of things. You know, Dusty burned out booking. Jim Crockett was trying to expand too quickly. And Jim Crockett, give him credit on that documentary they did a few years ago, said that the buck stops here. It was anything that went wrong was my fault. You know, and
I still blame the accountant.
the
But like I
accountant,
said, but that
Dave
kind of
Brown.
goes, but that's kind of going with what I say. Yeah, like they went and like you said, they started considering themselves, you know, trying to take on the WWE, and it failed. And then Turner bought, you know, and then it kind of just was like the same kind of wave. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think you could look at both but I understand what you're saying about, you know, you see a stopping point and a starting point, but it's that whole things people have got to stop going into the business of wrestling on television with the end point of being bigger and better than the WWE.
Wouldn't it be a breath of fresh air if one of these billionaires actually went on there and we're like, oh, good Lord, they're not trying to compete with those national companies, but if we can get some attention around some of our guys and they can get those big contracts, well, that'd be just great. Well, guess what? Somebody like Triple H is going to hear that and be like, there's another place we can maybe develop talent, eh? You know, it's like the college football season is a feeder system into the NFL, right? You know, that's just the way it works. And wrestling could be like that. But
yeah,
you got people with billion-dollar trust funds that's egos are just too big.
yeah.
Because speaking of Sasha Banks or what is
Mercedes
her name?
Moné.
That's right. People are fans are mad about her because just a couple of weeks ago, she was saying that she's going back to WWE. It's like she made it sound like she's just stopping right here to go to WWE. So it really burned the few AEW fans up a little bit.
It should have burned Tony Khan's ass, you know, because I'm telling you, if she hadn't put her name on that contract right then and she said some stupid shit like that, I'd have tore it up. You know, because like, why are you going to come here for 3 to 5 years and take how many millions of dollars was it? Does anybody know?
I don't know. I never read that much.
Is that 4 million annually?
I do believe
$4 million.
And is she
annually.
worth that?
No.
I mean,
no.
because like I said, I was a cat. I would
plug.
catch it every once in a while when she was, you know, bigger, like in the WWE. But I don't. Okay, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something that's going to sound bad, but there's not many women wrestlers who warrant $4 million.
there are not many men wrestlers who warrant $4 million.
No, and Sasha Banks was fine when she was going up against her friends Becky, Charlotte, Bailey, that whole crowd from that generation.
That would cover her fuck ups.
Yes, and it worked good together. I mean, hell, Sasha Banks and Bailey had a match at NXT back in the summer of 14 or 15 that people still talk about to this day in Brooklyn. And I mean, and Sasha broke her neck in that match.
Yeah, Diesel will follow me on this when y'all ask if she was worth that. Is she putting $4 million worth of asses in seats? If not,
she putting $8 million.
Right.
You buy them wholesale, you sell them retail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And she's
like,
they didn't even fill the TD Garden up for her debut, and that's the same arena the Celtics play in, and they sold like I think they hit 8,000, maybe it was 10,000. I'd have to look at WrestleTix. But
well, the real story will be what they sell at the next show she's on.
Right. Get away from hometown.
Well, that and the fact I don't think everybody knew she was coming.
Right.
No,
I mean,
only your
they
diehard people that follow the sport like us did.
Yeah, they tried
AEW
the CM Punk model with her, with it being hometown, and
Let's see what
AEW makes the same mistake that a lot of indies make, is they think for some strange reason that they're going to draw WWE numbers by getting people who used to work for the WWE. And it's like, I don't know where you get that thought from. It's just not going to happen. The WWE did not fill up an arena because Sasha Banks was there. I mean, there might have been, a couple, there might have been some people there just to see her, but they come to see the entire product.
Right.
It's one wrestler. You think, oh, she was the WWE, she drew big crowds. No, the WWE draws big crowds.
Anytime after 1987, before 87, you could honestly look and go, everybody thank Hogan for the card. After 87, 88, it was the three letters that were drawing the card, not one specific talent.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is too, like, you only have certain wrestlers who have that power. The Rock has that power. I would say John Cena has that power. But I mean, and Hogan, like you said, had that power. But is there really, I mean, again, this is going to sound terrible. Has any woman put that many seats in, asses in seats? That's the thing. I don't, and people go, come at me. That's fine. Come at me. I love women's wrestling. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. When it's done well, it's my favorite thing. And I advocate for women's wrestling. I think women's wrestling right now is really hot. I'm glad to see it. They had the WrestleMania main event. Like, I'm thoroughly excited about that. I'm thoroughly seeing there are women in this business now who are fantastic. Like Rick said, is Sasha Banks that? And no, she's not.
The closest you were going to have that I would say to a wrestler putting that many asses in seats recently, and they don't go there but once every couple of years, but Rhea in Australia.
Yeah.
I will give that as being part of the huge draw of she's coming home.
Well, and you also got to look at it this way. Sasha Banks is not in WWE now, and they're selling out arenas.
So it shows you WWE fans didn't miss her while she was gone.
And I think
here's what the report on WrestleTix says about the crowd at TD Garden for Sasha Banks' debut. Multiple sources have confirmed that AEW Big Business has distributed 9,400 plus tickets tonight. This would mean that any section I've partially credited, including several upper decks and sections on the hard cam side, would be fully distributed. As a general rule, if I don't see a section fully open, I only credit it for the amount that I observe until the final count, where I can assess its occupancy with your assistance from pictures. I've also seen the reported gate number, which when calculated, implies a much lower than usual average ticket price. This in turn suggests that complimentary tickets comps were likely distributed in the sections I previously partially credited. I'm hopeful pictures will answer any questions I have about the originally partially observed sections on the hard cam side and upper tiers. If you're attending tonight's show, please reply or DM me with pictures. Wide shots encouraged. And I'm scrolling down in the replies, and people sending pictures like zoomed way out to make it look like it was full. And there's one. All right. Yeah, man, that upper deck on the hard cam side all the way around. Oh, y'all can't see this. Hang on a second. Fuck am I doing? Good TV production there, Matt. But look, this is one of the pack. It says we're packed. Okay. Oh no, we're not. Look at all those empty seats. And that's the hard cam right there. That's the hard cam side. So the lower bowl looks pretty healthy. But there's no seats up here. So you're leaving.
Just pipe and drape the upper part. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, okay, I will defend them on one thing. That is packed for an AEW show.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
Balcony is
So,
40%
you know.
occupied. Bullshit.
But you know what? That right there is also another reason why they don't downgrade their buildings, because they think they're going to be able to do this. What if we do this in a building and we can't be prepared for it?
Yeah.
I'd much rather have the report coming out that you sold enough tickets you had to turn people away than to have pictures of that many empty seats floating around somewhere.
Yeah, because that nothing uglier than a bunch of empty seats. That's why here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, they tore down the grandstand in turn 2 because they couldn't sell nothing there. They tore it down, so you don't have to look at it no more.
The thing about it, though, there is something that's just as ugly as empty seats, and that's pissed off fans on the internet that couldn't get in.
True.
What are you talking about?
It's a damned if
Well,
you do.
you said that it's better. Somebody said it's better to, it looks better to turn away people than to have empty seats. Well, the people you turned away that couldn't get in to see that show can be just as devastating to your company, if not more, than a few pictures of some empty seats. Because if people are going to start bashing you, that shit travels, boy.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're, but the way things are different, it's not as much walk up anymore. I don't think it's because people can order tickets through their phones and computers and stuff like that. I mean,
once you book a building, though, ain't no turning back.
No, but once you if you sell out 3,000 seats and you put out the notification, 3 days before the show, then some dumbass drives down there and tries to get in that day. That's on them.
But that's like I said, like that's what you do. You sell out those smaller arenas, and then you think about it in a business terms. Okay, we've sold out this place the last 4 times we were there, and there was an estimated 2,000 people that couldn't get in. Just number wise. And then you take that, and then you go to a little bit bigger of a. You know what I'm saying? So I think I agree with what Steve says. That one. Because then it's going to be like, I got to get in.
Well, see JD Anderson a kilt?
Yeah, I can see it.
Not.
No, thank you. Thank you.
If you had JD Anderson in a kilt in our game, drink now.
One shot.
I'm gonna have to so I can sleep now.
Thanks.
Yeah, Darren said something to me last night that gave me nightmares, so I'm not going to repeat it. But like I feel like a broken record because I say this every week when we talk about AEW. It's just like those people who get their refund and they buy them a wrestling ring and they start running shows. And then maybe they last a year, maybe they last 2. And then we're like, hey, you want to go buy blah blah's ring because they're selling it now.
Yeah, ring for sale.
Yeah. I mean, and how often do you see? I mean, you see it. You definitely see it. Like even as Chain said in Tennessee, you see.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't see it as much as he does. I know it's a lot more of that in East Tennessee.
Horrible.
It's just and we've come across. I'm gonna stop saying names because I don't want to get in trouble. We've seen those people who get some money or have some money. And they're like, hey, I've got money. I'm going to go get me a ring. I'm going to get this jobber to help me. And then I'm going to start running shows and I'm going to be successful. And then they last maybe a year. And then it gets every week. It's like, oh, you're going to make this amount. Oh, now you're going to make this. Oh, now I've got $5 for both of you. And then,
Hey, what dates do we have in April?
The 5th, Friday the 5th, and the 20th. That's Spring Jam.
Okay, on at Spring Jam, we need to have the Great Tax Return Battle Royal. I'm
Oh
just
my
saying.
God. That is fantastic.
Oh
I'm
Lord.
just saying.
On
Maybe
the other,
Refund
You know,
on a pole match,
Yeah.
baby.
Yes.
everybody who got the refund got it before April.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you get that W-2, you
Yeah.
put it in.
Yeah,
It's
us poor people, we do our taxes as soon as we get those W-2s.
I'm going to quit. I'm going to quick segue off that too, since he is in chat and we are talking about Spring Jam. Flash, call me.
all right. So on the other hand, let's take a look at this. As you know, WWE, well, you may or may not know, WWE is bringing their Whirlwind Circus back to the Crockett Promotions area Monday night. Tomorrow night, they'll be in Raleigh. WWE Monday Night Raw, Monday, March 18th, 2024, 7:30 p.m., PNC Arena, Raleigh, North Carolina, home of the ACC champion, North Carolina State Wolfpack. And I just did that to piss off all the Dukies and the Tar Heels. So I'm a Wake Forest guy. So anytime
And
anybody wins
last time that happened, they went all the way.
yes, they did. It was 83 with Valvano. So who knows? Available tickets 464. Current setup 12,770. Tickets distributed 12,306. Up 158 since the last update one day ago. Last visit July 14th, 2023 for SmackDown 11,803. On the card so far, Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax, last woman standing. DIY versus Creed Brothers. Oh God. Gunther and Sami Zayn contract signing. That'll be interesting. Available resale 513. So even in Raleigh, and Jim Cornette has said that even in the heyday of Crockett Promotions, it was hard to fill up the Dorton Arena in Raleigh. Raleigh's the toughest probably town to sell in North Carolina for, giant wrestling shows. So even they're picking up the pace. And I'm always impressed by that. Billy told me that he went to a Raw in Raleigh, and he said when Cody Rhodes came out there, he said it was like it was the second coming of Jesus. He said it was so loud it made his ears hurt. And it was pretty loud down here in Charlotte, but it wasn't the second coming of Christ. So, I mean, but Billy could have been exaggerating. He has a tendency to do that.
He does exaggerate a little bit, yeah.
But I thought it was a good comparison. And so that's very interesting. And that show they've got the Raw in May in Greensboro is selling at a good clip too, I just saw. So
I mean,
what's happening?
WWE is doing everything right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you guys get to see that video of The Rock?
All cylinders. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
I did watch it, yeah.
Okay, and then here's something that I noticed. We were just watching this, and our children could just hear it. They're like, "Is that the guy from Moana?" And they're watching, and they're captivated. They're sitting here watching him talk about how he's gonna whip Cody Rhodes with the belt and hand it to his mama while she's crying, and they're laughing,
and then
they're like, "This is so good."
And then when he did the "and you're welcome," they went back in their rooms and were still talking about it.
Yeah.
And my children hate wrestling.
Right.
Well, that's your fault.
We're working
The
on
Rock
one.
is a-
Yeah,
he is The Rock. I mean, he's just on another level, and then the WWE is doing a good thing by taking advantage of that.
Yeah, well, what he does is over the last couple of weeks is he'll go on Twitter and Instagram right after lunchtime and do a long promo. Like the one 2 weeks ago was 20 minutes when they were in Texas, and the one last week was 8 minutes. And he does a long profanity-laden tirade. You can never get away with but he touches on points that are in his TV promo. And he did the thing with the belt on his uncensored promo, and let me tell you, it was a lot worse.
Yeah, but
you got to show that to the kids.
Yeah,
Standards and practices are not happy.
Yeah, well, and some asshole on Twitter reported that Fox Network was upset that The Rock was cutting these edgy promos. Oh yeah, I'm sure they're just crying their eyes out in Hollywood because they're up over
look at all this money.
because they're up over 2 million, viewers every week.
Yeah.
But because I had read on the internet, how they talk, you know, that people are complaining because he gets to say whatever he wants, but other people can't. They got to watch what they say, but he doesn't. And Brian and I were talking about, yeah, he earned it. And you know why he earned it? He showed that picture of him with that fanny pack. I
I'm
mean,
going to cut Diesel off before he gets to say this. When the rest of them get that over, then they can say what they want to.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
It's,
he's earned that spot.
and they some people lost their minds because Roman Reigns used the expression, he called Seth Rollins a crossdresser, you know, and I'm like, oh no, if you little candy ass person would have been alive during the Attitude Era, you'd have walked around with ice on your butt all day because you'd been butthurt every time you watched
oh my
wrestling.
God,
There
I
were no
just-
safe spaces.
No,
I miss them days.
let me tell you,
Yes.
what happened on NXT this week. So, Roxanne Perez, Booker T's protege, right? They call it a prodigy. She is switching to the dark side. Very justified in her mind. And she's in the ring. Now, keep in mind, her name is Roxanne Perez. Okay.
Yep.
She's cutting her promo in the ring, which is somewhat scripted, but she's 20 years old, so you cut her some slack. It's NXT, right? And she mentions one of her adversaries and calls her a stupid dancing Latina, right? And I see a guy, because they're in a studio right behind her, point and mouth the words, "You can't say that." Like, are we to that point where some teenage punk can legislate to the performer what they can and can't say? And she kept going, and I didn't find anything offensive about it. And I was like, that guy got all up in arms. You see how the internet has made these people so weak? I was like, he doesn't understand that Roxanne Perez
Hey,
probably got a
Latina.
touch of Latina blood in there. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just thinking.
Matt, as one Caucasian to another cracker.
Yeah, exactly. You dumb honky. You know,
it's a fine line. I'm gonna, you know, it's a fine line of what is maliciously offensive and things like that.
yeah,
like,
but you're an educator. You got to try to keep those little monsters from being mean to each other. We're talking about grown adults at work that's job is to hurl insults at each
well,
other.
the thing is too, is like, I don't remember what I was reading. People were complaining about something with wrestling, and I'm like, did they not watch Attitude? Like, did they not? I mean, yes, that was like, but then it was what, 20 years ago?
Mhm.
About,
Well, Rock used to call Kane a big red retard.
yeah, which we should not do anymore.
Some
Use
some
that
people have
terminology.
never.
And now he's the
Some
mayor of
people have-
Knoxville.
He's got to call him now the Big Red Socially Challenged.
But I mean, like I said, I understand there are things that can and cannot be said now, but you can only, like, I don't, maybe it's because I am Caucasian. I don't understand why you couldn't say that, but I don't know. I don't know why you couldn't say that.
Right.
Some people have never heard the words "rabid rat's third testicle" uttered in a promo. I mean, I'm just saying. Looking at you, Diesel. Looking at you.
Anyway, yeah. Well, and if you want to watch a line bend dance, just be in one of our production meetings with me.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Yeah.
you know, and me and Kevin Phoenix.
I have my own standard in practices. Right in there with me going, no.
Find a video with Diesel in the ring cutting a promo on New Jack. At all I'm going to say.
I thought I was going to die that night.
I thought you were too.
Lord,
I've talked about that before.
You might have to tell us that story again. I don't think I've ever heard that one.
He come in the ring. He wanted me to leave, and I refused to. And I was like, "Well, I guess he'll just stab me."
Yeah, he might.
The best part leading into that was watching Diesel rummage through his suitcase looking for the smart-ass white boy T-shirt
to wear for New Jack. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know, Kevin Phoenix and I had a lovely conversation about what would happen if he went out there and cut a promo and the voice of Buckwheat from the Little Rascals. Now, I tell you what, that'd get us internet famous real quick for all the wrong reasons. And so look,
I
They-
feel
they-
like New Jack had some respect for me for that night, though.
he probably
After
did.
watching his
I-
promos in Smoky Mountain, I don't know how he could say anything about any kind of promo.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
man,
good
it-
job,
Cornette's-
OJ.
Jim
These-
Cornette's
these-
specific response was, make these people make these people
Piss
hate
off
you.
white people.
Yeah,
Right.
just
Piss
shit
off
to
white
piss
people.
off white people.
But
And they
no,
did.
Diesel, and I give him all the credit in the world, and you'll appreciate the Roddy Piper reference. He obeyed the first rule of the pit: never surrender the mic.
Mhm.
It was like, yeah, drop it. No.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I do think there are some things that should not be said anymore. And I don't think it has anything to do with people being pussies. I don't think it has anything to do with that people can't. There are some things that should not be said anymore. But piggybacking off of that, some people pick the smallest thing that makes no sense. to
Exactly.
come out.
Right. And especially there's also I feel that it's like when you're within a group, you then get to use whatever language you want about
Oh God, yeah.
Mhm.
it's like that's your group. You can
Take
you can-
ownership.
yes.
Yeah, well, if
So
like
it's
it's like,
different.
go ahead, Brian. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it would be different if if her last name wasn't Perez, if she didn't have a Latina background,
Mhm.
then it would be different. But if she's part of that group, then she gets to use that kind of language.
Yeah, it's like like I
Exactly.
told Jinky, I was like, I don't know why the guy's so mad. It's not like Tiffany Stratton walked out there and said, "Listen here, you stupid Mexican jumping bean." I mean,
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
like in the 80s, right? But you're right, Brian. It's like, here's another thing that's not along racial lines. Like, I love jokes about Southern people being dumb and hillbillies
Mhm.
and stuff like that.
I do
But if
too.
I hear a motherfucker from New York or California or Michigan or something talk shit, I am ready to fight almost at the drop of a hat. It just burns my ass.
See, I'm different. I'm different
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna let them make me mad
Yeah.
about it.
But
You know what I'm
see,
saying? I'm gonna
I
be
try
like,
to fight it.
that was good, and because then they're like, well, what
But
the
the-
response I was looking for?
The only other
it'll
problem
piss them off faster by not being mad than
Yeah.
if you get,
But-
yeah,
So
coming
don't, you're
from
saying don't sell it then, basically.
Right.
exactly.
well, coming from my job, I will say there are things that offend people that I would never have thought would offend people. And with my shoot job, I had worked with, at-risk youth and stuff. And there were things that they would say that I was just like, I don't even understand why this is an insult, but it was an insult to them. So I guess you're right. I do walk this different
Yeah.
line because of what I do and what I
Mhm.
do see offends people. And then also with my personal life and my children, I understand what can be said to them that is very offensive that people should not say. But I'm still saying there are some things that are such nitpicky things that it takes away from the seriousness of the things that are said that are truly offensive.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
If-
my
if-
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
my
When you nitpick, then it's like, oh, you just overreact because you're upset about this. While when somebody is saying something genuinely offensive and hurtful, it's
Mhm.
like, oh, well, it just gets lumped into the nonsense.
Right. If everybody's in the clan, who's left to wash the sheets?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Whoa!
okay. But I mean, I'm saying like,
Deep
like,
sauce by Jack Handy right
Holy
there.
shit.
oh my Lord.
Bing!
All right, let's move on.
I was just want to tell you one last example of something stupid like this that happened to me. I was at Deal with the Steel calling the kickball game, right? And the score was, and this is the way it looked on the graphics: good guys 9, bad guys 11. That's what the scoreboard said on the graphic. And so I got, all right, it's 9-11. The bad guys are up on the good guys. But as you can see it on the board, 9-11 your score here, 11-9. But as you see it on your screen, good guys down by 2 runs. And this kid, who I'm not going to mention his name because he's a nice guy other than this stupid shit, walked up to me and said, while I have a hot mic on, you can't say that. I can't say what. And I was already casually swearing, but that kind of just flew all over me. I was like, what, the fucking score? And he goes, you can't say 9/11. I said, why the hell not?
Well, what
He
about when it's
said
September
the
11th?
terror attacks. And I said, watch this. 9/11, 9/11. If I need the cops, I call 9/11. 9/11. The score is 9/11.
You can't,
And he got
you
upset and
can't say
walked
that.
off.
You can't say that. I just did.
Yeah.
Well, what was you supposed to do? Give them an extra point so you wouldn't be offended?
And then as he was walking away, I said, the last time I checked, this is the state of North Carolina, which is a part of the United States of America, and we have freedom of speech here, ass. And I'm just like,
And like I said, that's one of those nitpicky
Nitpicky.
things that
Yeah.
takes away from the seriousness of if you were coming at that saying it never happened. Do you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like he's putting that on the same level of saying 9/11.
Or that the government did it, or
Yeah.
you know, it's like, yeah.
There's no telling
Saying
what
the
kind of
two-
weird
saying the
shit's
two
going
numbers
on in his
together.
head.
yeah,
Here,
that was
son,
messed up.
come here, son. Here's your tinfoil hat. Go away.
Yeah, that's definitely a
Yeah,
future.
because if it was that bad, they would change the emergency call line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
It'd be
just,
9/12.
yeah.
But
That's
whatever.
just stupid.
It is
Anyway.
stupid. But like I said, it's well, the other thing though, wrestling always about 15 years behind the rest of the world. It's always been that way.
In fashion and everything.
And language and stereotypes and
Get that ad read in, Mac.
Yes. Yes. This is for shit. I can't even remember. What's the name of this business? The landscaping
Branch
Branch management. Thank you. Our first sponsor of all the ones to forget, right? But Branch Management has got your spring plants for sale now. We do not recommend putting out plants tonight if you're in the North Carolina area because we are in fall spring. And I don't know about you
Yes,
guys
we
up in the northern part of the state, but we have a freeze warning down here near the South Kakalaka border tonight. And so I know it's probably going to be colder up there. So
it's
this is
about 39 in the morning. So because
yes,
I just sent a message to branch management asking them, when do I start planting? And they
Yeah.
were very quick with their answer.
Yep, not tonight.
No.
So bring your potted plants in, but if you want to reach out to Branch Management and get you some of these lovely hanging ferns, and I don't know what other flowers I'm looking at here.
That's a geranium.
That's a geranium. Okay.
Right now, the ferns are what's kind of ready now. It's still a couple of weeks, 3 weeks before anything else starts moving. You know what I'm saying? But ferns have been moving right now, so
that's good. And ferns are pretty durable, man. As long as you water them, they'll live.
that's always the first ones to go out the door every year.
I kill everything.
Yeah, they're easy.
Everything. Even my nice bushes when I moved in this house are now dead.
Oh wow. I don't even want to know.
And 2 trees. There must be something about me.
We got, speaking of plants and stuff, we got this beautiful palm tree a couple of years ago. And outside during the summertime, it just thrived and it got big, and we brought it in winter before last. And then this year, Jinky told me, well, we're going to have to leave it outside and cover it up. It's too big to bring in the house. I said, well, honey, it's a tropical plant. It can't survive the cold weather. That's sitting out there dead now. So it made me so sad because we grew it from a little bitty thing and it got all big.
Into a depressing story. Like
it was almost like a pet.
Yeah.
A pet that had lizards running around in it.
It's like when my father passed away, somebody gave me one of those lilies and it died in like 2 weeks.
See, this is why
people give live flowers for funerals and stuff because
Like,
it's just going to remind you of everything when they die in a few days.
Like I'm grieving. What I want to do is take care of a house plant.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I can watch it die too.
Yeah.
And that, boys and girls, is why y'all should call Branch Management.
Exactly. They can help you.
Good segue.
Yeah, I mean, instead of sending flowers to my funeral, how about getting Jinky a fern or a new palm tree? Pressure
I don't feel
washer.
like doing nothing. Send somebody to mow my yard.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Pressure washing, general contractor, gutter cleaning, free estimates, and those beautiful plants that you saw there. Call branch management at 336-648-2487. That's 336-648-2487. And they will help you out with all, and like Reagan said, your planting questions and all that kind of stuff. They can help you with that. So, and then finally, our delicious teas treats. Man, that's good eating. Now featuring the John Holmes corn dog, 336-755-8204. 336-755-8204 will be appearing at Merle Fest in Wilkesboro this year in April, but are always available at AIWF Mid Atlantic shows there at Veterans Park in Mount Airy. Man, I'm gonna tell you what, that's like, I'm not kidding, man. If you can find better concessions, and we'll start with North Carolina, indie wrestling in North Carolina. Show me, prove me wrong that Tees Treats isn't the best. They are the best.
Not only that, I go to a shitload of festivals. Like I love a festival. Love a festival. They have ruined me on funnel cakes. Like I will not buy a funnel cake anywhere else, no matter if I go North Wilkesboro, Mayfest and Pilot, Autumn Leaves Festival, wherever. Will not buy funnel cake anywhere else. She has ruined me, which is a good thing, but they do. They have the best, and yeah, they have some of the best food. Their chicken tenders are delicious because they're pretty much a chicken breast. That's how big they are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're big. Yeah.
But the sad thing is I've been so busy the last two shows, I haven't even got to get anything.
Well, and we didn't have the frosted nuts, and that ain't got a damn thing to do with the temperature. At the show last night, like we did at the anniversary.
Oh, that's right, because that's what I had at the anniversary show.
That was in another trailer at another place that was open.
Oh, wow.
The other trailer is we're getting ready to experiment with larger donuts too. So,
like the ones at the end of the.
Not the great big Amish donuts. They're
good because
I use way too much electricity to know how to make them.
If we had those at the shows, I would weigh 500 pounds.
Yeah, because I
can only take those once a year.
What are y'all talking about? Like those big donuts, like they sell at the Quickie Mart in Myrtle Beach, that are like this big.
Well, these are Amish donuts.
I don't.
And they're I don't know what kind, and they make them right there in front of you and drop them in the hot ass oil, and then they glaze them with like the best glaze I've ever. Like if you like the Krispy Kreme glaze, multiply that by 1,000,000.
Yeah, it's like a glazed Krispy Kreme, but it's like this big.
Yeah, it's like a truck tire.
And it's hot, and it's hot.
Find you a cinnamon sugar one.
And you when you put your fingers on it, it's so hot, and you put it in your mouth, and it just dissolves. Oh god damn!
There's a place between you and us, Matt, in it's off of 77. It's a little Amish place up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have a little Amish community up there. It's near Hamptonville, somewhere down in there. Off 421, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, their donuts are so good there that they make as many as they can make in the morning, and people are in line, and they sell out by like lunch. So,
really?
It's like donuts that you almost have to make an appointment to get.
Yeah, well, I'm never going to be up early enough to get up that far.
I think I know the place you're talking about. Then you have to get it to the Autumn Leaves Festival.
I think I know the place you're talking about, Rick Diesel, because they've had an article about that store in Our State magazine.
Yeah.
So
if you ever get a chance to do real Amish donuts, Matt, just jump on it one time.
All right. I'll try.
All it takes. I've never had one.
What?
Well, how can you recommend it then?
Because I know a lot of people that has.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. I'm sorry. That's a cynic in me. It's getting worse as I get older.
It's all right.
What somebody says, well, I hate Guns N' Roses, and I'm like, well, okay. Well, what album pissed you off? Was it the Spaghetti album? Because that usually did it for everybody else. and they're like, "Well, I've never listened to them." Well, how the fuck do you know that you hate them? You know, it's like what, you know.
All right, wait a
Hating
minute.
them by
Okay,
proxy.
can you see it?
Yeah, it looks like
That's the donut.
Oh, they're odd shaped.
Oh, so they're not
odd
round.
shaped.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm looking to see if I can.
so they just
God bless Google Photos.
they don't shape them. They just come out of the fryer. They put the goop in the fryer, and ever how it comes out is what it looks like.
Yes, and
Kinda.
it is.
I mean, they're donut shaped, but
Yeah, but they're the yeastiest. I don't need it. Oh God, they're just perfection. You know how good? Wait, here's a picture when my children were young eating one. Can you see how big it is?
No.
nah,
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
yeah.
So
there's a
it-
lot of light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my
They are the
my children were probably 8 then, and it's bigger than their heads.
Wow.
They are the king dog of donuts.
The
Yes.
king dog of donuts.
But anyway, they're not even we need to get them as a sponsor as much as we talk about
Oh
it.
yeah, I wish we could.
who King
um,
Tut Dogs? We already got them as a sponsor on the
No,
live show.
the Amish donut
Donuts.
people.
Oh,
That's
somebody go down there and get them.
That's
I
there
don't
we go.
have an iPhone,
Good
so mine will
Lord.
get better pictures.
Yeah,
I
they're
can see
about
that.
this big. You get 3 for 18 at the. Is it 18? 3 for 12. 3 for 15.
I can't remember, but it's worth
But
every.
you see what I'm talking about, Matt?
Yes, they're ginormous.
And
My
they're at
God.
the end. Like if you ever go to the Omnis Festival, they're at the very end because the line is so long.
That is bigger than the Lard Lad donuts at Quickie Mart and at Broadway at the beach. And I thought that was the biggest damn donut
Yeah.
that I've ever seen, but those are big.
No, Amish
It's so
donuts
light
are
and
the
airy
Andre the
that it
Giant
doesn't
of
feel like,
donuts.
you know,
Yes.
you're not like super full after it because it's so light and airy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
why I've never bought one of those Lard Lad donuts. I wouldn't be able to eat it. You know, I mean, it's
this
just
one
too
you could
big.
probably. I have to stop because I want to eat too. But hey,
I'm easy though. Regular old Krispy Kreme still gets to me. It's like third segment has devolved into foods. It
yeah,
was
I
like,
don't know. It's
you
and
get
it
a
wasn't
little,
even my fault.
you get a little of everything on this show. I'm telling you, you know,
that's why we're the best podcast out there.
well, the numbers don't necessarily back up that statement.
It's
but
because we're gonna get it. We're gonna get a cult following, and then one day somebody's gonna click on us, and it's gonna be a famous person, and they're gonna be like, "This is the best thing I've ever heard in my entire
Well,
life."
that's why everybody watching needs to share.
Yeah,
yes,
share.
please help us, and on YouTube, please
'Cause
like,
we're fun.
subscribe, ring the bell. You
And
know,
we'll talk about anything. Give
Yeah,
us a topic.
Yeah, send us a topic. We'll talk about it. As long as it's not political. Not political.
Oh yeah,
or
no. Well,
not
we'll say no
religion.
political, no religion.
Yeah.
Anything else?
And no science,
Alright.
because we don't believe in that either. No, I'm just kidding.
What on flat green earth? What on flat earth?
What on a flat
Keep talking like it.
God's
We can get
green
AJ
flat earth?
Styles on.
Well, the thing about it
I
is
know.
if you don't like the topics that we're talking about, then that's your fault because you won't send us other topics.
Yeah.
That's right.
But
We'll talk about AC's dirty feet when he was working at Myrtle Beach. I don't care.
No, we
Them
won't.
things had cracks in them
won't.
that looked like you
No,
could plant
we
seeds
won't.
in.
Stop.
plant
No
seeds.
feet. I'm not talking
Well,
about
feet
if the
feet.
ground was
probably
cracked,
had.
But Jennifer Aniston's feet now. If you want
There
to
we
talk
go.
about feet.
I knew it was gonna.
Y'all talking about my segue earlier, and there it was.
I just. Oh my god! It's
Her
8:00.
feet are getting a little old and wrinkly. though.
Stop.
I will have to move on to somebody else.
find your
We'll have
younger
no Courtney
actress's
Cox
feet.
next.
Hey, look at that gal's feet that's in the new Ghostbusters movie. She was on Young Sheldon. She played Paige in Young Sheldon, but she's in the new Ghostbusters movie. She's got a nice smile. Maybe she's got nice feet to match Rick Diesel. You'll have to look and see.
Feet are disgusting.
Yeah, I'm the same way with feet.
If I could get away with not having feet,
I don't have a foot fetish. I just like zero in on one or two now and then, and I'm just like, that's interesting.
No, that is exactly what that is, Rick Diesel. That is exactly.
No,
what
fetish,
that
you just
is.
like them all.
No, no, the perfect ones do this. That's the kind that are supposed to be the best.
Yeah, that's
Put them
symmetrical.
together and they make that arch like that. I don't
Really? See, you know more about it than I do.
Yes, she knows
So
about
who's
feet.
got the fetish now?
Because I can tell you what's aesthetically
That's
pleasing.
something I did not know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we've learned what is aesthetically pleasing to humans about feet. It's the shape, just like it is with the face.
Mhm.
You know, they taught us that in TV, you know, what's aesthetically pleasing.
And that's
so
why none of us are on TV.
I've
We
got
got
the,
face for
See,
radio,
you
baby.
can say
got
that
the
to a
cheek-
panel full of men, but don't say that when there's a woman on here.
I gotta no, my cheekbones have got are high enough to pull it off, but I'm just too fat anymore.
Yeah.
So
I have a chin. I have a good chin, but you're right. I have a fat. Everything else is too.
yeah,
fat.
see that but my first chin, the one that God made with the bone is good, but it's these extra ones that I've accumulated over the years.
I'll pull back.
My grandma used to call that the waddle.
The waddle, yeah.
And that's why I have a beard.
Well,
I
women
can
can't
hide
get
the
away
other
with
three.
that. Matt Carter, have you ever had a beard?
No, I just don't want to maintain it. I told Jinky when Bray Wyatt debuted that I wanted to grow one, but then she told me she'd divorce me. She was raised in her father was in the army, and so you know how they are about facial hair, and so she grew up with her father being clean shaven, and she wants her husband clean shaven. She'll let me get a little scruffy, but I'm fortunate. My facial hair does not grow at the rate of a normal person, so I can. If I shave every 3 days, I'm good. You can hardly tell it. So I'm very fortunate with that.
I've never seen Brian without a beard.
I
in
think
24
Brian
years.
was born with a beard.
That's what I tell everybody.
Yeah, you gotta say, yeah. Look it up. Look it up in the. I don't know where you were you born in Mount Airy?
I
You
think
born in Winston.
Yeah, it was
Ish.
born in Winston.
Okay, born in West. Yeah, just tell me. Yeah, the Journal did an article on me. I was like a miracle baby. Watch, people will believe it.
I'll just start drawing beards on my baby pictures.
That's what AI is for, man.
Oh God, yes. So,
That's scary AI. And
yeah, I don't like. Yeah, there's a whole lot of like people think of it and just like it's fun. Oh, it's fun. Let's make a funny picture with it. But the amount of theft in AI, I can go on and on and on about that. But
Skynet is live.
I tell people all the
Skynet is
time,
live.
nobody ever paid attention during Terminator. And I'm not talking about Terminator 2. That was awesome.
No.
But the dark, scary 1984 original Terminator, you know, it was trying to warn us back then, but people just wouldn't listen. I remember when they launched Watson, that computer out in California that could play chess. I was just like, damn it, they built Skynet. And then AI comes in.
It's either Skynet or HAL. I'm not sure which one.
I was going to say 2001 also
Yeah.
warned us about it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Dave. I can't do that.
I know, that was so eerie. What a terrible movie.
It was. I read the book. It's much more depressing.
It's a beautifully shot movie, but it just takes forever. And Stanley, I love some of your work, but that one was pretty and had some cool stuff in it, but not my favorite.
Yeah, well, he's a little problematic anyway. So
Who's Stanley?
yeah. Right? No, not Stanley Kubrick. That's Roman Polanski. I'm going to say that I'm about on the way out, so I might have to step away.
Oh, it's like Reagan's pain meds are kicking in. If you'd like to see the first time that happened on the show, we've got it chopped up into a short with a warning that says,
"Wait, what?"
We chopped that bit up into a short. It's on the Ringside Wrestling channel, and
I missed that.
It's actually named Pain Meds.
Yeah, Rick Diesel named it Pain Meds, and then I put on there that we learn in this clip why pain medication should not only have a warning against operating machinery, but also getting on a live microphone to the worldwide internet.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way out. And these are legally prescribed for my injury.
Yes.
So just putting that out there.
Yeah. Oh, mercy.
Taken as prescribed.
As prescribed. I don't know how people live. I'm just gonna say I don't know how people live like this. I hate it.
We're still in North Carolina. We don't have a bunch of dope smoking hippies running around like they do in Virginia and Georgia. No, I'm just kidding. Am I? But
sheltered much, Matt.
No. I'm
He's
wondering
on that good side of town.
No, I'm wondering when they're going to make it legal here and in South Carolina, because South Carolina, just to fix the fucking roads, it seems like it'd pass, immediately. But that'd be good tax revenue for the government. I don't know.
God, it
what
would.
the-
It's a matter of time. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's just North Carolina.
Even the old people like me know it.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, when it passed in Virginia, I was surprised, but not really, because there's a more left-leaning group that lives around Washington that can get stuff through there like that. But when it passed in Georgia, I was like, wow, how'd that get past all those old crusty politicians
I
down
think,
there?
yeah, but
You
I
know,
think that,
crops
you know,
drying up.
I'm sure the prison complex, the private prison complex, doesn't want it to ever get legal.
Yeah,
They
that's
lose a lot
true.
of business.
Biggest problem y'all got in North Carolina is RJ Reynolds, and yet they'd be the ones making the most money from it.
But they don't do tobacco anymore, do they? They just do Reynolds Wrap and the fucking what's that? Nicotine. They have to use it in a vaccine for some kind of flesh eating disease. They manufacture that and do Reynolds Wrap, right? And that's about it now.
I
They
don't
still
have
do
any
cigarettes.
idea.
Well, RJR's been sold, you know, at American Tobacco. They've been sold and bought. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just they're a mess, but they still dabble in it.
They don't even own the Winston brand anymore. Lorillard in Greensboro owns that brand.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So
It's just funny because like we live in Winston, or we live near Winston, and you know, to grow up and that, because I remember you used to drive through King, like you could smell the tobacco. And it's been interesting to watch it. Like, I'm sorry, Don, I hit you in the face. To watch it get small. I'm leaving.
If we keep going much longer, she's gonna have Brian's nose break and give out her actual address.
yeah. But she's right, man. A tobacco field on a hot summer day when you drove by, it did smell good, you know.
I gave out my address one time on the internet to the brute shooter and told him to come on down if he wanted to talk smack, and
he never made it, did he?
No, he didn't.
No.
Sorry, I said I wasn't gonna name people's names.
I don't even know who that is, but
I don't think nobody cares about that one
Names
anymore.
are keeping in.
Yeah. All right. Well,
before we get out of here, I'm just going to say there is a real good chance that for Spring Jam, I may be around. So
all right.
Love to see you and Jade.
Yeah. And
we'll do
fans,
everything we can.
As fans of Stephen Hayes around, there's a good chance of fireballs going in somebody's face. So
rumor was that people were. Rumor was last night there was somebody looking for a fireball. So,
yeah, I heard that rumor.
You talking about like a fireball like Stephen Hayes throws?
I heard the rumor last night that somebody had been going around asking if the stuff was available to throw a fireball. I ain't gonna say who it was.
Me neither.
I ain't gonna say who they was throwing it to because it was a rumor. We do not know if it was true.
But
it did put staff on alert.
Will somebody please text me the names of these individuals, the principals involved? I would love to know, just for my own.
You were in there, weren't you?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
I will throw out yet one more time. Somebody can throw one. I will show up and show you how to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
You can throw them, and then Chris Tenney can blow it out of his mouth.
There we go.
And it can go right up your body.
Or you could do it Neil Leather style, just dump kerosene on your bare arm and light it on fire.
I just found I've been going through some old pictures, and I had some wrestling pictures I wanted to show, and I forgot them upstairs. I found one of me body slamming Neil Leathers. So,
well, you know, we can bring them next week. But we've been going on and on and on and on, very, very close to, if not over 2 hours. So let's get out of here.
5 people watching, which over 2 hours is good.
Yeah, but they probably hadn't been here the whole time. That's not the way the internet works. But anyway, thank you guys for joining the panel tonight. Thank you guys out there for watching. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for us. It really, really helps out. And I guess anybody got any final thoughts, or I'm gonna close it up?
Close it up.
Thank you, Bob Cuttle.
We'll see you next week, wrestling fans. And until next time, so long for now.